here. Just a little bit of nectar in here, a little bit of pollen. So again, this is another frame that I will move to the top. Still have some drones here. I've seen them start to get rid of drones, but not with vigor yet. So, okay, so I'm going to put another frame of honey down in the bottom here. This is the one that was on the outside. Now I'll put this one. Actually, you know what? I'll wait for the rest of the honey to see how much brood we have, because there could be too much brood to be too worried about honey right now. Again, they will need that honey for winter, but before the winter I can always move it in there before it gets cold, I guess. There is the queen. So here she is. She's on a fairly empty cell. I'll just hold it upside down here so you can see her spotted right in the lower middle of the frame. And I just want to see if she's laying, and I'll have a look for some eggs. Yep, there goes her butt in a hole. Not all the way down yet. So it looks like she's checking it out. I'll just look and see if I see eggs on this frame. I see some pollen and some larvae. And again, plenty of nectar again, so this is just not an ideal frame for her. There's nectar in it. She's not going to lay in nectar. They're not moving it out. So again, if she weren't on this frame, I would take this frame out and say that no, this is not a frame that she's going to use. So, and I've been watching her for a few minutes now. She hasn't come close to laying an egg. Let's see if she'll go down into another frame here, if I hold it down. Hold it like this so that you can see her. She's right over here. Do you see her? She's a big queen, so she's definitely egg bearing. And there, she's just gone below. So I will take this frame now and move it to the top. Just make sure she's gone. She's played tricks on me before. This queen doesn't like the spotlight. She doesn't like being out of the hive, but I'm getting to know her now, and I know that basically watching her doesn't help her do her job. So that's why I kept her close to the frames, because I've never had a queen fly away on me, but they could. And again, as soon as I got her close to the frames, she sought the security of the actual brood box. So here's one with a bit of brood on it on one side and a bit more on the other side. So we'll keep this down here. I won't move it too far from the middle, but right now I'll put a couple more brood frames. I'll plan to put a couple more brood frames on this side of that one, of that frame. Here's just a honey frame with no eggs in it and no brood on this side. So that'll be another one that goes up top. Now we get to this frame. And this frame, again, they're just filling up with nectar. So that's another one that I'm gonna try to move away, because it's just not suiting its purpose down below. Now I've run out of places to put my frame, so I can put this one right here. Okay. Next frame is my only plastic frame. And it is completely empty. So another one that I will move to the side and then promptly replace. Okay, so here's one brood that I'll put in. Here's another brood that I'll put in. I'm trying to work quickly, but I'm trying to keep in mind that there's a very alive queen in here that I don't want to kill. Another brood frame that I'm going to put in. Let's just have a look at what's going on here now. Just an absolutely empty frame. Nothing happening on it at all. So the next frame is chocker block full of honey. So I'm going to see what I have for brood frames left, and then I probably will leave this frame down in the lower brood box because it's completely open for laying. I have a good grip on it here. I think there's a bee under my finger. Squished me, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, so another brood frame that I'll put in. And I think that's it for brood frames. Yep. Okay, so that's honey on the outside here. I'll put this second frame of honey here. And then I'll put an empty brood frame where she can lay right beside it. And we'll see how much that gets us to as far as frames in here. Bees are starting to come at me here, so I'm just going to smoke them a bit. These have been excellent bees. They have not been rough at all. They just stung me one time, or it was 8 times in one day, so I'm going to count that as one. But it was one time that the weather was overcast and it had been raining the day before, and I knew that was a prime day for bees to be nasty. But I went ahead and went in there anyway. Okay, the next frame is completely empty. So that's the frame that I'm going to put in beside this one. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I want to put in a relatively empty or pollen-filled frame there as well. So now there's only one honey on either side. It'd be nice to have 2 honey for when we go into winter, but I'm not worried about that right now. What I want right now is I want her to have a lot of space to lay down below. There is space up above as well. She can lay in both brood boxes if she wants. But again, if I have to end up eliminating one brood box and just going with one over winter, I want the bottom one to be properly arranged. So that's why I'm going with this strategy. Right or wrong, I don't know. I do appreciate your comments. And one thing that I am doing is taking action. Last year I had almost the exact same situation happen with the hive, and it was dead by October. And I just didn't do much on it. I just chose to let nature work itself out. I am seeing a lot of pollen coming in now, which was a concern of mine earlier, but it's not so much a concern anymore because these bees are putting a decent amount of pollen in this hive right now. I can see it. And again, they need that to feed all these young bees that are coming up. So that's it. Thanks for joining me. It's Frank at 4D Honeybee. I'll shut it down now. And again, if you have an idea as to what I can do as far as a feeder so that I'm not killing so many bees, that would be really helpful. Thanks for joining me.